Nothing else matters to me now. All I care about is am I going to be late for pickup at noon or...
Ice is ready, and we are back with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast, brought to you by BetMGM. I am your host, Dan Powers, and along with me is a man who up until last year did not know that you could trim your eyebrows and nose hair, and thus things got a little out of control. Christopher Powers.
As always. Dude, did those hairs not grow as fast when you're younger? Because it's not a problem
I don't think so.
for the youths.
Yeah, it ain't a Utes problem. It ain't a Utes problem. It's once you get older, you are past your prime. Things start getting out of control, dude.
Once you can't see anymore, dude, that's how you know.
Yeah,
that's
how you know it's curtains. That's how you know it's curtains on your life, on your career, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I do remember distinctly the first time I went to get my hair cut, and the barber took out the little comb and like ran it through my eyebrows and trim. I was like, ooh. Like fancy treatment here. And then I asked, he was like, no, it's necessary. And shout out Erica. Erica was like, no, idiot, your eyebrows are just like out of control. And I was like, oh, I'm embarrassed.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what else is absolutely out of control?
The
interview that we are about to drop on people.
Oh,
I said this, I think we weren't recording, unfortunately, but I told our next guest that we have had the joy of meeting so many people in the hockey world. This is by far the most starstruck I have ever been in an interview during the Empty Netters podcast.
Oh, true story, dude. He was out of control. And also, man, if you are not aware, I'm gonna tell him right now, we've got a band. We've got a band interview. Massive hockey fans, hockey players. O.A.R. Oh, yeah. O.A.R. of A Revolution joins the podcast. We're talking Caps. We're talking Rangers. We're talking Beer League. But also, if you are unaware of this band, of this absolutely electric jam band, I'm so pumped that we're now putting you on. You are going to immediately go to Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your music, YouTube, and you're going to look up O.A.R. and find their fucking bangers. And I can't wait for you to hear their blind ranking of their songs so you know which ones they love and thus we love. This is just so exciting. We just got to interview O.A.R., fucking certified platinum artists.
Dream. And shout out Yans, by the way, because he hooked this all up. Mark met Yans, they became boys. Candle. Huge shout out Yans. But I literally, Dan, I can barely sleep since this interview because I'm like, I can't believe that I did that. I can't believe that actually happened.
It was so crazy. Like hearing Mark's voice answering questions, I was like,
yeah.
Are you shitting me, dude? Is this Mark from O.A.R. talking to me right now? And the crossover that we're getting lately, we got a lot of great episodes and guests coming up recently where we have hockey meets entertainment, hockey meets music, hockey meets movies, and fuck me, man, it's the best.
Yep. Dude, I'm so pumped. Let's
can't wait, so let's not wait. I can't wait, let's not wait. We're going to kick it to this O.A.R. interview right now. Please enjoy.
We are joined today by, I would say, a band that says they were born in Maryland but raised in Ohio. I don't think I have that right. They have released 10 studio albums, 5 live albums. Their single Shattered appeared on the Billboard Top 100 and is certified platinum with over 1 million units sold. Their album King debuted at number 12. They've sold out Madison Square Garden. They've sold out the Red Rocks. They are guest Washington Capitals fans, I think all of them. At least one of them is a beer league addict. And most importantly, they are the band we have seen live most times in our entire lives. And for now, Mark, Richie, Chris, welcome to the Empty Netters podcast.
Thank you. You forgot to mention we were the 8th grade talent show runner-up.
Wow, I didn't know it was runner-up.
Well, actually, see, I didn't want to bring it up because I thought that might be something that's just you carry with you at all times.
I thought it was an everyone wins.
Yeah. Hey, if you had done it these days, you would have. That's what would have happened if it was 2025.
Guys, the first thing that I need to know, I need everyone listening to know that you are literally in Iowa right now. You just did sound check. You're about to do a whole show tonight, and you're popping on here. One of the coolest things of all time. What are some of the cities or states that you've performed in that people wouldn't realize are just an absolute blast?
That's a great question, and no one's ever asked that question because I think there are so many hidden gems in America and Canada. in Canada, we went to a place called Club Soda, and that was a really fun time. In the U.S., there are some hidden gems. Like tonight, we're at a very special place, right?
Yeah. We are in Cedar Lake, Iowa, and there's a venue here called the Surf Ballroom. And the story behind this place is the day the music died. I don't know if you know that story. Buddy Holly, Big Bopper, Richie Valens. This is the venue that they played before the plane crash.
Oh,
No
shit.
way.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why it's
Crazy,
Day of the Music.
but because of that, it is super legendary.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's amazing. You know what? Our producer is actually from Iowa, and like he is going to be geeking out this entire time. The fact that you guys are there, because he definitely knows that spot.
Yeah, it's crazy. There are some ones, in New Hampshire, a place called Casino Ballroom, and it's like the same floor on the stage that Led Zeppelin played on.
Dude, we've been there. We actually saw the Beach Boys there. We grew up in Maine, so that was like a spot we went all the time.
That was our first concert
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Get out!
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
Legendary,
That's a wild
legendary
fun
spot.
fact.
So for guys like us, those are the things you really do remember. In Tulsa, there's Kane's Ballroom where you hear Johnny Cash play it, and you start to really, as the years go on, you respect the history of touring music, because like we make recorded music too, but what we really enjoy is the touring aspect of music, and we really think there's legends out there that started it for us. And so when you're chasing them around the country at these venues and they'll say, oh, Prince, did this here, then, you really start to have an appreciation for it. So great question. There's a lot of gems out there. You love Red Rocks, you love the Garden, you love all those things, but the country's full of amazing venues. And that's why I think live music will never die.
Yeah. I mean, it's the best. I do want to ask you guys a quick hockey question, because obviously we are primarily a hockey podcast. We got connected with you through Hockey Connections, which, I mean, it's just the best thing in the world. Mark, I know you had Capitals season tickets growing up, but have become a bit of a Rangers fan. I think the coolest fun fact in your hockey sphere is the fact that you have Al Iafrate's record-breaking shot stick.
Yes.
Which is such a fun
It's
little
incredible,
thing that you
dude.
have.
It's amazing.
I want to know where that is. And then also, I know maybe you start to like the Rangers a little bit, but was it electric for you, all of you guys, watching the Caps win the Cup in 18 and then Ovi chasing down the record? Like, are you still dialed into watching the game and watching the Caps?
So I'll answer first, and each one of us has so many stories involving hockey. So that's amazing that you know that, because yes, I was on the Blast. The company my dad worked for had tickets, so he would take me on Tuesday nights. Main games were normally on Tuesdays, and other nights, but Tuesday was like when it's a school night, and my dad would say, "Let's go to a game." If I got in trouble, if I got in a fight at school, like my dad would like take me to a game. Like what? Like
What a way to incentivize you to keep breaking the rules at school.
It was just so great. So my memories of Cap Center. But I had this one night, I was there, Al Iafrate, man, 98-mile-an-hour slap shot, which at the time was the record. And it broke the stick, and
Yeah.
I'm waiting on this. He comes right off the ice and fucking hands it right to me. And I'll never forget it, because as I'm walking in the parking lot to my dad's car after the night was over, I'm holding the stick, and I hit it down on the ground, the butt of the stick, and my hand slid up, and the fiberglass into my hand. But I didn't care. I was so fired up about it. I'm bleeding. Iafrate's blood, And so that stick remains in my house.
Incredible.
Oh, going on, I don't even know, 40, I don't know how long ago that was, 30 years, 35 years. So Caps fan for life, celebrated the win because of how they celebrated the win. I think they just inspired all hockey fans to celebrate with them because they appreciated it so much, which is like in music and television and art and forms, sometimes you see people winning and it's almost as if they don't give a shit. And it's like, well, I don't give a shit if you don't give a shit. But they were so just amazing in their celebration. We were all in on it, especially us.
Yeah, I love
My
that.
story in New York was when I went to New York moved there 20 something years ago, the Garden embraced us in such a nice way with O.A.R, treated us so well with our story at the Garden. We became so close with MSG and the Garden of Dreams Foundation that they run, that the relationship was so much deeper than hockey that my friends are on the team, and that squad, Nasher, Yandel, Glasser, all like that team. I mean, ridiculous, amazing team. So I was just all in and continue to be because of the relationship with MSG and honestly, just the Rangers I have so many great friends there.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I think that story is a perfect example of how hockey people are just the best. Like they can make you start rooting for a team that's a divisional rival of the team you grew up with. And it's like, we feel the same way. Like once you get buddies in the league, teams kind of don't matter as much. It's really fun.
Yes.
Right. You cheer for your friends, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And then are you two? Are you guys
yeah.
Caps guys too?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I'd go to Caps games with Mark. My uncle was a season, ticket holder. A big story in our family. He got hit by like a errant puck and had to go to the hospital for like 3 days. And then I lived in Chicago for about 10 years, and I think the Hawks won 3 cups during that period.
Yep.
Oh wow. Yeah.
To like get just so hooked and excited by that. And then I live in Nashville now, and I've been there for 12 years. And when I first went to a Preds game, I went as a Hawks fan to a game. And literally more people at the time were wearing the opponent's, team, like jerseys and stuff like that. So it's just been wild to see how much Nashville has embraced the Predators. It's become such a great hockey town. It's just really fun to see it just night and day become one of the big hockey, cities.
Man, we've said there might not be a better barn in the league, because when you go to those games and then just step out the door onto Broadway, you're like, oh, I guess we'll just keep ripping here. This is fantastic. It's it's really hard to beat.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I went to Caps games when I was younger, but I didn't really start really loving the sport until my kids started playing hockey.
Yeah.
And once they started playing, I became a huge fan because of them, was able to understand the game more, and then was lucky enough to have some buddies on the team that played, and always invited us out to come to games. So for me, the memories were later in my experience with hockey, but it's now I love it more than anything.
Yeah.
Well, you
it's
guys
crazy,
should
man.
just—
it's a bug. You get infected.
Yeah, you should just feel lucky that Mark hasn't dragged you into beer league life yet, because that's when it really has its grip on you.
I did.
Oh, okay. It's too late for everybody then.
I started playing beer league because of my kids. I was like, I should try to figure this out. And I already knew how to skate a little bit just from being a rollerblade nerd. But I didn't know how to play hockey. And so I took a learn to play adult hockey thing just with the rest of the dads, then started playing in the D League. And I was the second worst player on the team. So it was pretty good.
Well, listen, it fires us up so much that you guys found hockey whenever it happened. And listen, I hate to do this to you, but I have to reveal this publicly for the entire world now. We have a direct text from you that says, and I quote, "Music means nothing to me now. Noon pickup hockey is who I am."
I just said that on the sound check. I just told them. I told them 5 seconds ago. A friend who was here visiting. He's a hockey guy. We did the crazy game of poker together, and I said to him, "Nothing else matters to me now.
Yeah,
nothing. You could tell me anything, and I'm like, all I care about is am I going to be late for pickup at noon or?"
Man, it's so funny, Mark. All of our friends, all the wives and girlfriends of our beer league team, they refuse to go out to dinner with all of us or hang out, because they're like, we sit there and you idiots just talk about your beer league game for 3 hours and the sick behind the back pass you threw when you all look like old idiots out there. And we're like, yeah, sorry, it's a lifestyle.
And then you pull out some live barn footage and you're like, I don't know, do I move that slow? The angles are so absurd.
Awful.
But there's one barn in New York that has like a lower angle, and you look like you're flying.
Oh,
I only watched that one.
yeah. It's like the equivalent of, special mirrors in gyms. Like I need a camera as in the beer league live barns that just make me look faster, stronger, my shots way harder. That's what we all need for sure.
If you want to come home and just be like, oh my God, let me tell you, my beautiful wife, how good I was.
In the D League.
There's not 1 second of that story. They're listening. It's going.
Yep.
With you guys having a show tonight, I do want to get into the humble beginnings of the O.A.R. days. And, you mentioned it in the beginning. You guys started playing together in 8th grade in a talent show. You played in your local school cafeteria. And then even as you grew, when you got to Ohio State and you started to become a real legit, record-selling rock band, you kind of still kept that those roots that made you who you are, where you would play anywhere, anytime, for anything. Walk us through the thought process of spending $1,000 on 1,000 CDs just hoping it would catch on. And have you lost that spirit in any way, or is that still truly the core of who you guys are?
Yeah, I mean, we started the band in my mom's basement.
That's so sick.
This kind of band from the basement mentality. We kind of we were friends before we were in the band. So we've got this kind of ethos. We call it like we're the Goonies of rock and roll. We just kind of have this spirit, a do-it-yourself thing. And, it just kind of, the thing about making CDs was also like a big stretch. We were making cassette tapes when you would high speed dub from one to the other.
Wow.
Be drawing, what the album cover was, because you couldn't go and print out these things. So we would sell tapes for $5. And then I think we pressed the first batch of CDs more so because the technology was going there, but also again, with this DIY thing, we were getting ready to leave high school, and all of our friends were going to different colleges. And we basically, it was a way to give our friends hey, here's 20 CDs, take them with you, try to sell them, but basically put them on at parties. And if you meet somebody who works for the college radio station, let's just get the music out there. So that was the idea really behind it, but no one could have predicted, this thing called Napster that came along right as we were freshmen in college, and every college kid started sharing music, online, and our music, that age, that time, it just resonated and it started spreading. And, because of that, we were able to get our music way out there without us being on a major label, without us having our CDs in stores back in the day, Blockbuster and, Best Buy, and Blockbuster, Tower Records and Best Buy. You see where my head is at right now. I'd rather talk about Blockbuster right now. That would be cool. We never put our music out on VHS, but I wouldn't be surprised if that comes back.
Honestly, if there's a Blockbuster still open, it might be in Iowa. So you're in,
you can find it.
No, but my follow-up was going to be, the streets remember you guys were one of the OG Napster blow-ups. And do you ever think to yourselves, I mean, this idiot here has a Napster t-shirt from 2005 that he still wears. Do you guys ever stop and think about those days and holy shit, what would it be like if not for something like Napster?
So I think it answers your other question too, is that we had guidance at the time from someone who was completely on the DIY train as well. Our manager, who was also my brother, who was when the Napster thing really started to kick in and we're realizing, there's only certain groups that are really popping off.
Yeah.
Something's going on. And then the lawsuits started to happen, and they wanted you to choose sides and either be on the side of these bands going in there testifying that Napster's the worst thing in the world, or leave it alone because it's great for us. And he said, stay out of it.
Yeah.
Stay out of it. Enjoy the ride. This is the best thing that's ever happened to you guys. And whenever we had bumpers like that, people along the way who could understand what we were, it was like an arts and crafts band that needed to stay an arts and crafts band. Without those sort of bumpers, we would have gone off into other areas. Who knows, right? Because our interests are so varied. We're so interested in anything from a jam band to go-go bands from DC to hip-hop to this, to that, to the other. So I think having other people keep you in your lane and stick to your ethics and morals and all these things is like so necessary for a very, very long career, just like in hockey and any other sport. If you don't have this system around you, you know, you're probably not as the smartest person in the room. And if you are, that's a problem, right?
Yeah,
So,
man.
Yeah.
to answer all your questions, I feel like we had people in our world that allowed us to stay DIY. And even when we signed to major labels and major corporations and all this stuff, it was always kind of on our terms, and they provided us with just help and backing. We really got lucky. All of our deals have been good. We've always had good guidance. It's really important to not try to be successful immediately.
Yeah.
Napster thing happened. And if you want to be famous, like, good for you. Today, if you want to be famous, good for you. I want a job for 45 years.
Yeah, right. Well, that's actually such a good segue, Mark, because you guys, all of you, the whole group has talked so passionately about loving music. You know, and your advice was, if you want to be famous, I can't help you. But if you love and you want to play music all the time, that I can get into. You actually told an epic story about when you guys got to play with Mike McCready, and it was a rehearsal, and he's just soloing with his head back, like in the hotel room. And you're like, it looked like he was in front of 50,000 people, and he was just sitting there. But that's what he loves to do, you know? So how have you guys been able to love your music and love touring so much for this long?
I think it really comes down to just loving being around each other and playing music together, you know? And I think we're all so serious about our craft. And I think the longer that we've been doing this, at least for me personally, where I've never been more interested in getting better at what I'm doing, you know? And I think that goes for all the guys. Like, we just really love and are really thankful for just being able to be musicians, and why not try to be the best you can possibly be, you know? And I think that drives all of us on stage, just accountability, you know, like, I want to be a great guitar player for the rest of the guys, and, you know, Chris wants to fucking play the shit out of the drums for everyone else in the band, you know? And so we're all just really, you know, doing it for each other.
Yeah. I mean, it's so clear with your music and the way you guys carry yourselves, even just in a fun conversation like right now, that you've been able to maintain that. And I always wonder, when you look at the stretch and the arc of your careers, and, you know, that stretch in the 2000s where you really took off and you're doing things like selling out MSG and playing at Red Rocks, how have you guys been able to sort of keep that same just spirit and friendship throughout things like jamming in Ohio and then playing at one of the biggest arenas in the world?
I think for us, a big part of that was, you know, in the years of like 2008, 9, 10, 11, we've got the most successful song we've ever had. We have the biggest numbers we've ever had. All these things are great. And then the world around us, all these really, really tough things started to happen, one after another, real big boy stuff. And we were faced with moments where you're deciding whether we continue doing this or not. Of course we'd continue doing it, but like, would we be able to do it with heart and soul and passion and love and all the things that it requires to make music? Because I felt that the world was really testing us. We were able to overcome a lot of things, and that made us incredibly strong. When you have to make tough decisions and do them and not look back, and that is something that I think brings you closer. When you're scared of the tough decisions and you just kind of lollygag around and meander through this business, it'll eat you up, man. Like, this thing is no joke. When you're 30, just like in sports, man, when you're 30, they're like, thanks, see you later.
Yeah.
So, okay, what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and go, okay, bye. Like, no, you're going to go skate. You're going to do the best you can. You know, it's like, and so we just continued doing that for the next 15 years after that. When we've had meetings with people who are like, hey, thanks for everything, but we're going to go get these young bands. And you're like, cool. We're going to go get these young bands too. And we're going to we're going to go on tour with them.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
How you regenerate. Like, don't run away from the problems. We just like went right into them together. So that's how. It's like facing serious stuff, dealing with it, putting your ego aside, just like in sports.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it. When we keep referencing all of these unbelievable shows and the places that you've been in, for the three of you, do you have any stories that pop into mind of some of the craziest moments on the road?
And if one doesn't come right away,
every one of you just smirked, so I know that there's something going on.
If one doesn't come right away, you can tell the PG rolling ravioli story of the pasta in the van.
I mean, no, because like
honestly, no, sorry, none.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it.
Pretty boring, actually.
Honestly, what's crazy to us is the stuff of having these cool opportunities that you would never imagine. We got to skate with some of the Blue Jackets, like
nice,
just stuff like that. Like that's what jumps out to me. Like who gets to do that?
Yeah.
Well, how about this one? I'm going to help you.
Okay.
This guy. One day you're at a hotel, you're doing a show. The guy who's doing the show with you is Richie Sambora.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, holy fucking hell, this is incredible. The night goes on, and next thing you know, it's 3 a.m, and Richard's in his room, and Richie opens up. I'll let you tell it. This is
we were having a good time, and the bar was shutting down, and I was talking with Richie about just his guitars and his legendary double neck ovation that he plays, right?
Uh-huh.
And he goes, "You want to see it?"
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me? It's here? He's like, "Yeah, in my room." So we go to his room. He opens it up. I'm playing it. He asked me if I know how to play any Bon Jovi songs. I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So I start playing Dead or Alive. And he's like, "That's all wrong."
Oh my
He's like,
gosh.
"This is how you play it." And he grabs the guitar and he literally in his room at 3 o'clock in the morning taught me how to play Dead or Alive on his double neck ovation. And that was
Damn.
that was it for me. Yeah. Good memory, Mark.
the legends. No, because the legends, that's what they do. Like, they care so much about music. And Richie Sambora is a blues man. Like, he knows everything about the blues. And then, like, McCready, you're with McCready, and he's playing a solo in a room. No one's there. And he's playing like 50,000 people. The legends, man. Robert Redford, we got to do something with him. And it's like, he told me the first time I ever heard the term, it's like herding cats. He said, dealing with musicians, it's like herding cats. Because we couldn't stay in one room. And, like moments like that with massive legends that break it down with simple views of the same world we're living in, gives you the surreal, where you realize we're all going through this shit together.
Yeah.
We're all dealing with the same stuff. And when you catch a story from a legend, like to Chris's point, those are the memories. We've partied. We've done all the things you're not supposed to do. We've done all those things for years. It's like we took that and turned it into, let's get as healthy as we possibly can. And then let's, we could tell you funny stories, but it's like for us, I feel like it's the memories of the get to. Like, I can't believe we got to do that.
We were recording an album at the same studio that Metallica was recording an album.
Oh, come on.
Outside the parking lot, and everyone was standing around. We were smoking a joint, and Kirk Hammett walks up. Richard's like hero. I mean, not that we all don't love Metallica, but he walks up. He says, "Oh, it's like, what do you say? It smells good. Can I hit that?" And Richie freezes. And just goes, "Whoa."
Like, whoa. And he came over and started hanging around, and we're just in the circle passing it around and just talking to him like it's nothing. And then he's like, "All right, thanks." And he just kind of disappeared into the shadows and then was like gone. I was like, did that really just happen, or is this just like super strong?
Dude, and on the bench, across the little parking lot on the bench is Rick Rubin just sitting on a bench.
I thought he was a homeless guy.
Yeah, no, he was just sitting there.
This guy has a cell phone? What?
Wait, Richie, did you manage to say anything after the whoa, or did you just stay frozen the entire time?
You might have recovered, but we don't remember that part.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I'm
Oh God,
it's hurt, and
Incredible. Now, I have to ask because, we keep talking about how dialed we were in all this, in this era of, your come up when you guys were absolutely exploding in the beginning. And I know it's all friendships now, but was there any sneaky competition with Dispatch and Guster?
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We didn't hang, and we by the way, we're all like best friends.
Yeah, no, I know. But also, fuck those guys,
Oh, we are like hugs and jumping, and we play golf and hang and play hockey together. Do everything. But years ago, when we had our crews, we're all very competitive.
Interesting.
And so sound check and where to put your drums and where to put this always caused a little bit of problems between the two worlds. The bands had never even had one single run-in. Not one negative experience, but this thing had happened, something with the crew. So then for 20 years, we didn't hang out, we didn't talk, we didn't do nothing. Then we were like, what are we doing? Why are we mad at each other? What happened? Then we did a whole tour together, made songs together, hang out all the time. It's like one of the most pointless riffs in rock and roll, and it wasn't even us.
It's never the band.
It's never the band. Dude.
Yeah, right. God.
Now, did the story ever come out? Like, did you find the guys in the crew who actually started this rift, or is it just an unknown story?
We know, yeah,
We know exactly.
We know who. Yeah, and he'll admit to it too. But we'll let him speak for himself.
Yeah, that is so funny. I love it.
Yeah,
yeah. Amazing.
We were young. We were not afraid of anything or anyone, and I think our management and everyone around us was like, "All right, well, we'll be like that too." And for about 6 months, we didn't get along with anyone, and then now we get along with everyone.
I mean, I get that's music, right? Like that's rock and roll. It's like having a rivalry with the other huge bands at the time. It's like you had to do it.
Of course, and we didn't even know why. Like they're the nicest people on planet Earth. Like,
the fact that they play hockey too is
dude.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my God,
bro,
that guy.
Shaq can play. None of us really knew what we were doing. He's the only one who knew how to play, and he stayed as far away from all of us as he could on the ice because he knew we were nothing but danger. Like,
he's gonna get him hurt.
He beat them. He had
Remember
dispatch.
how fast he was?
Dispatch.
yeah, that dude can play, and he's strong as hell too, man.
That
And
is
Brad
so
is
funny.
like a ridiculous golfer. He played college golf. Like he's a great golfer.
Oh,
There we go.
God. That,
epic.
that'll get me jealous right there.
Okay, guys, we're going to play 2 super fast games with you and then get you out of here. The first game we play with every guest, it's called Pass, Shoot, Score. And we give you 3 things in a category, and you guys have to rank them: pass, shoot, and score. Score is your favorite because we all have scoring goals. Shooting is your second favorite because we get to get pucks on net. And then passing is our least favorite because, whatever, who wants to pass the puck? Okay, so your first category is O.A.R. influences. So pass, shoot, score, Bob Dylan, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Pearl Jam.
What? We're gonna have to pass on one of those?
Yeah, you got to pass on one of them.
Well, to be clear, pass is just third place. So you're not kicking them to the curb, but you got to put someone in third place.
All right, so I'm gonna go quick. I'll say score is Bob Marley and the Wailers because of what they put off stage. Stayed with me for my entire life. So they're the greatest live band sound ever. Shoot, I would go with. Oh, this is tough. Bob Dylan because of his lyrics and just the simple, like, Johnny's in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government. It's like, okay, who can beat that? Shoot.
Yeah.
I'm passing on Pearl Jam only because you named our 3 biggest fucking influences. And I only passed on them because they're so amazing.
Yeah.
And they deserve to score.
Do we each go? Or
Hell yeah. You guys all have to go.
So my score is Pearl Jam because that's what I saw them on Pearl Jam on MTV Unplugged, and that's what inspired me to want to start a band.
Love that.
Wow.
Shoot would have to be Bob Marley because discovering the Babylon by Bus album that we've all listened to a million times, we've sort of based something as a band to find we're not a reggae band, but we do draw from a lot of that genre. But it's more that there's a pulse in the way the band is playing as a unit. There's a vibe that they're all playing together. This energy, and that to me is such a defining thing of the band sound. For me personally, past would be Bob Dylan, which is tough to say because he has such an influence on where we are coming from as a band through storytelling. But
yes,
for me personally, that have to go as a pass.
Yeah, and my score is it score or goal? Score?
Score.
Yeah.
I would say it's Marley. Yeah, for sure. For all the same reasons that Chris said. Shoot would be Pearl Jam, and Dylan would be my past. Not that I don't love Dylan, but I didn't listen to him as much as the other two.
We're just mad because we opened for Dylan one time, but we played the side stage and they wouldn't let us backstage. So he's just mad at Bob.
I mean, I do like that Pearl Jam and like everyone got their love in that, so that was really good. Yeah. And I do want to give a shout out because Chris wrote this down. You guys have mentioned a lot, shown a ton of love to Stephen Kellogg, and we saw him open for you guys once. So thank you for putting him on our radar because
we love SK.
Those guys rock.
Yeah, you got it. It's all about quality with that dude. The lyrics, man, crazy.
Yeah. All right, your next pass shoot score, we're going to kick it old school. We're going to kick it to TV, and we're going to do movie and TV dads. So your pass shoot score is Tim the Toolman Taylor, Ray Romano, and Clark Griswold.
Okay,
I love this question. I based my whole life on sitcom dads. Okay.
Wow,
so,
okay.
Yeah, I would have to go with... You want to start, Richie?
I'll go because I know it immediately.
Okay. Yeah, you knew immediately. That was quick.
Is by far my score. Like I could just watch that all day, every day, and I'm gonna go watch that tonight after the show. Thank you for the recommendation.
There we go.
My shoot.
Yep.
Is that the second one?
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, it's because we go. It's because we always go out of order.
Score. My shoot would be Tim Allen Tool Time. I mean, that to me is so nostalgic and just reminds me of like coming home from like school and watching it like on TV while we're like having dinner and like getting ready for band practice or whatever we're doing, right?
Yeah.
And then past is Ray Romano. Man, I'm sure people love him, but it's not for me. I don't get the comedy.
That's good. It makes it easy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the exact same order.
I love it.
Same reason.
Yeah.
Well, I now need to know, do you yet have a Clark Griswold Hawks jersey? Because if you don't,
yes,
you need
dude.
one.
I have looked online a few times. I know I should just buy it. How could I not?
I mean, that might be something we have to send you because this is like it just makes too much sense. You spent 10 years in Chicago. Clark
Agreed, Dan.
Griswold is your North Star of
easy
movie
guest
dads.
gift.
Like, come on,
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I'm going to go with Tim the Toolman Taylor just because, like, I base my whole life on that shit. Like, I can't fix anything in the house, but I'm willing to try within 6 to 12 months. I just need a long runway. I love that. I love how he's just constantly fucking up. I love him, and I love Clark Griswold for the same exact reasons. And then Ray Romano, I love because he was a sports writer, correct?
Yes,
that's
great
correct.
memory. Yeah,
and so he really captured a lot of my sports writer type buddies. It really is very accurate to like a baseball fan.
Yeah,
hardcore baseball fan. So I'm going to pass on him only because he seemed very specific to me. For those other dudes, it was more general, just dumbass dad, which is good.
Oh, I love it. CP, you gonna give him the next one, or is he frozen on us right now?
I think I froze, but I'm back if you can hear me. But dude, just go to the blind ranking, Dan, so they can go.
Yeah, you're back. Okay, yeah, all right, guys. We know you got to bounce, so we're gonna just hit you with the last one. So this one is what we do. It's called blind ranking. So we're gonna give you 5 of your own songs, but we're not gonna tell you what's coming up, and you have to rank them blindly. So like, don't necessarily give up one yet if you're not sure. So we're going to start you off.
That the episode from The Office where the Robert California ranks. There's a right and a left column. And
Yeah, it's brutal.
what they're on.
That is such a good reference, right? By the
I
way,
know.
It's winners and losers or not. We don't know.
exactly. All right, so 1 through 5. We're gonna start you off. First song, we're gonna go with "I Feel Home."
As one.
That's one.
Already.
Well, if the topic is most O.A.R. song, all in one meaning of everything that we've ever done in our whole entire career, I Feel Home would pretty much sum it up.
Do you guys all agree?
Wow, that fired me up so much.
But
Me
we don't
too.
know. We don't
Also-
know. We're going with that as being why we would
Yeah.
say it's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's so rare to see a one out the gate, so I'm already pumped. So unbelievable stuff. All right, CP, give him the next one.
Okay, your next one, and we're including this one because our boy from home, Johnny O, would never forgive us if we didn't. It's his favorite song of yours. Your next one is Black Rock.
Three.
Okay, all right,
Three. We gotta leave.
Yeah, you got to leave some space.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
All right, next one, Shattered.
Five.
Whoa, okay, a quick 5 from the boys.
Look at that reaction. What does he know that we don't know?
We'll find out.
He was shook. He was
Okay.
shook when we write the 5.
I was shocked that
just
that's
shocked
5.
with how you guys were all quickly on the same page going 5 there. That was impressive.
Yeah, there's something about it.
Okay, so what's left, Dan? 2 and 4?
Yeah, we've got 2 and 4
Okay,
left.
so you've got two-
We're possibly on the verge of one of the most perfect blind rankings of all time.
You better say poker
right.
because otherwise number 2 is pointless.
2 and 4. 2 and 4 left. Your next song is your your next song is Crazy Game of Poker.
Two.
Unbelievable. All right, so that means that number 4 is going to be Hey Girl.
Yeah.
Pretty good list, actually.
Yeah, do you guys feel good?
That could have gone 3 or 4, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, unbelievable. That's, I mean, like I said, going one out the gate and then
And nail-
delivering one of the best blind rankings of all time. That's about as good of a shift as you will ever see.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a personal
boys.
favorite?
Personal favorite?
Yeah, if you do.
Oh, me, About Mr. Brown is one that
it's
I
great.
get super nostalgic every time. It's like a time machine. That one for me.
Yeah.
I would say Rattled for me brings back a lot of memories of writing that song and just being in the dorms and yeah.
That's like one of my favorite songs all time. I love that so much. Yeah.
Do you know the song? Do you know the song "Scenes from an Italian Restaurant"?
Yeah.
Brenda Renetti with a popular steady in the summer of '75.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, she takes it deep to the heart, and right from the start, she talks softly with a glass of wine. But now and again, she's more than a friend. Just throw me a line.
Never knew that.
Never knew
Yeah.
that.
Everyone said I was crazy. I'm much too lazy. So it's like I heard that rhythm, and I was like, just put words to that rhythm, and then had the words, and then Richard came with the chords, and we were like, oh, that's cool, that works, and that's how that was written.
Wow, that's amazing.
The fact that you
That
guys
is
just
so
learned this
epic.
for the first time is all time. There's another all time moment on this show.
He said, I remember when it was written. I'm like, and it just smacked me in the face. Like that's how
I'm
it.
kind of blown right now because I hear it.
Unbelievable.
Crazy Game of Poker is my favorite all time because you would think everyone says, "Oh, aren't you sick of it?" or da da da. And I feel like, that song came so naturally, and all the things, and we play it, and it makes me happy, and it makes the crowd so happy. So that's like my favorite.
Oh,
So beautiful.
dude. Yeah, it fires us out. I mean, you talk about a time machine. That's the one for us. Like whenever,
Yeah,
it comes
man,
on, I
God.
feel like I'm like right back in our parents' den, like sitting on the couch with the boys drinking Bud Lights. It's
And
unbelievable.
that's all we wanted. You know what I mean? Like we'd go into one of our friends' minivans. They'd pull out all the seats. We put a pony keg or a keg in there and a tank or whatever, and we'd go to Nissan Pavilion and see Dave Matthews Band.
Yep.
And we would say, those guys from Virginia, and we were from Maryland, and it was like you could hear them in the neighborhood over. And we'd go and we go, man, those are the boys from Virginia. We want to be the boys from Maryland.
Yeah.
We want
And you did it. Yeah.
We want to do this and have people get cars and come party and hang with their friends and, you know what I mean? Like get a hammock and lay in the it was just like backyards, front yards. Like that's what it was about for us. So it comes from just going to shows and wanting to do it. And so when you say hanging with the boys, that's all we ever wanted.
Yeah. Well, man, I can tell you, you officially did it. You officially delivered maybe the greatest blind ranking in the history of the Empty Netters podcast. We can't thank you guys enough for popping on. We know you have a show to get to, but before we let you go, is there anything you guys want to shout out? Anything you guys want to plug?
We are celebrating the next year, 2026. We're going on a big tour to celebrate our 30th anniversary from the release of Crazy Game of Poker and all those songs. Wow. I know that's crazy, right? But
that is
unbelievable.
Awesome.
What an honor.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing every and anything, and we're going to be out there to celebrate with you guys for about a year.
New music,
new album,
a new album along with that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well,
we'll be there.
Make sure to let us know when that is, where those shows are. Obviously, we'll find out, but we will be there for sure. Make sure to everyone get that new album. But guys, you are the best for popping on, especially before a show. I
thank you so much.
Invite us to a skate. We'll come skate.
Yeah. That's
doubt
on the agenda as well, for sure. But again, O.A.R, the boys, you're the best for popping on. Can't thank you enough.
Crush it tonight, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, boys.
Massive thank you to the entire crew, the entire band, O.A.R. Massive thank you to Keith Yandel for setting that up. But what a chat with the boys. So many amazing war stories, tour stories, hockey stories. Just guys that you would just love to hang with. And we just got
They had a show that night. They had a show.
I'll never get over that, CP. I will never get over that.
Oh, dude. Incredible, man. Forever in their debt for that, dude.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see them for their huge tour next year. God, dude, it's going to be so sick. So
sick.
What an experience. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I hope you guys loved it. Let's take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back. We are rocking with BetMGM, like always, and I need you guys to be rocking with BetMGM with us, okay? You think hockey season's over, you think all the fun and games are done? No, sir. Not at all. They have promotions for everything. We got golf still going on. We got baseball still going on. My favorite one is the Big Fly Friday. Happens every Friday, okay? You place a bet on someone to go deep. $10 minimum bet, someone goes deep. If they hit first of all, if they win the bet, then you win. That's sick. But on top of that, if they hit the longest homer on Friday, you get your share of 100 G's in bonus bets. Are you joking me? If you pick the guy that hits an absolute rocket launcher, you could get 100 G's in bonus bets if you're the only one that has them and he hits the deepest bomb. Absolutely outrageous stuff from BetMGM. What you got to do is you download their app. You use promo code NETTERS. That's NETTERS when you sign up. And then you can get all the odds boosts and all the tokens and the Big Fly Friday. You get all of it. And when you're a new user, you can get up to $1,500 in bonus bets back if your first bet loses. You're missing out. You're missing out. I know you are. I need you to go sign up right now. Go sign up for the BetMGM app and use that promo code NETTERS. That is NETTERS. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Okay, we are back with the Empty Netter Show, and man, today, the Not Ice segment is a great, great honor. So Dan and I were talking. I know what you did last summer. Reboot has just come out. We're going to see it this week. And we were like, man, we should talk about some of those 90s, early 2000s horror movies that shaped our childhood. So I shot a text to my old buddy and horror expert, horror legend, Kury Sayenga. He has a million credits that I will not bore you with. To name a few: writer and director of Horror's Greatest, writer and director of the 101 Scariest Horror Movie Moments of All Time, writer and director and showrunner of Eli Roth's History of Horror, which I was an exec on at AMC. We go way back. There is no one better to talk horror movies than this man. Kurt, welcome to the show. Thanks for doing it.
Thanks for having me.
Kurt, Master of Horror is such a such an amazing title, and without the right context, people could take that the wrong way. And I love that you carry that with you proudly.
Yeah, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
So Kurt, we were saying we had been texting a little bit, but being two kids born in the late 80s, it was kind of like those, mid to late 90s movies really hit for us. Scream, especially, being one that just jumped off the page and kind of redefined the genre a little bit. Talk to us about your expertise in what happened to the horror culture when Scream dropped for the first time, when Wes Craven hit everybody with that.
sure. Well, let's see. There's the big slasher boom of the early '80s, and then that pretty much got squelched by the public and congressional hearings and people freaking out over the violence and whatever else. So then you saw them kind of suppress, basically, or people pulling back on them. So you would have things like April Fool's Day or whatever, where it's like, oh, actually nobody was killed. Which is, where's the fun in that? So then, like, Kevin Williamson, the guy who wrote Scream, and also I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
He teamed up with Wes Craven, who directed Scream, and Scream basically reinvented the slasher genre by making it self-aware, which is like very 90s thing to do. And Scream, of the two movies, I would say those two movies really pivotal in kind of bringing back or legitimizing slashers again. But I Know What You Did Last Summer is kind of a more serious, it's more of a regular kind of slasher structure. It's also a Mount Rushmore of 90s culture. And you've got Sarah Michelle Gellar, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Ryan Felipe, Freddie Prinze Jr. with a cameo appearance by Anne Hesh. It doesn't get much more 90s than that, along with the soundtrack, which is like there's like a sludge metal cover of Seals and Crofts' Summer Breeze to begin the movie. It's got that whole, so it does have kind of a little bit of a camp element to it, but it's nowhere near as kind of sharp and constantly commenting on the action as Scream is. And so that really kind of juiced things up for American horror films for a while. And then, as these things always happen with horror cycles, everybody eventually got, kind of a little tired of that. And then the Japanese came in with, The Ring and Ju-on and all of that, and essentially brought the supernatural back into the genre, plus tons of violence. So
real.
Which, yeah.
Which
really
messed me up
changed
for a
things.
while. That was crazy. Like I honestly, I might have just blocked The Ring out of my mind for self-preservation purposes, because I think that was as influential on our generation as Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer were, for a totally different reason. But what do you think it was, Kurt, about movies like, Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, these like 90s slashers? I love that you just use the word camp, because they were totally campy. And I think I was saying to Chris earlier, it's like they added an element of sexiness into them too. Like,
yes,
you mentioned the cast. It's like,
there are all these beautiful people,
beautiful dying.
Kids, yeah.
It's like, I don't know what it is about hot young people dying that people just loved in the 90s, but like those movies took off.
Well, if you really want to, there are many ways to look at it. One way to look at it is just a Freudian thing of essentially, you want to confront death by having it faced by the most vital, alive people you have, and then to crush them, smash them out. Just so we can come to terms with our eventual fate, Whereas now, like in the kind of the reboots you see, we're coming to terms with our eventual fate of more like watching, it's Neve Campbell 25 years later.
Yeah.
It's
such a good point.
Jennifer Love Hewitt many years later. So now you can just look at it and go like, oh, we're all going to die, But back then, when you're in your 20s and something and seeing this, or your teens, it's still more of an abstract concept that you're trying to wrap your head around, mortality. And so one response to that is fear, and the other response is to kind of laugh at it,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
the human condition. And so I think that's part of the appeal of it. And part of it is also that kind of 90s snark thing of just sort of like, you're in that 10 years between the fall of the Berlin Wall and, September 11th happening. And everybody's kind of like, "Oh, everything's cool. Yeah, I'm worried about serial killers now, just so.
It's very, very true.
God,
It's also
yeah, the
funny as,
90s
like,
were
those,
epic.
and those
Yeah.
movies specifically launched the parody movies, right? Like that scary
Oh, yeah.
movie, and like that's a genre of its own.
Which,
But
which is, well, they're more like slapstick, like
Yes,
Scream
yes.
is more like wit, and and scary movies is more kind of an obvious,
Totally.
like the Three Stooges, basically.
yes, yeah. It's like Naked Gun, but make it kind of
Yeah.
horror. It's interesting.
Yes.
But I
yeah.
do. I'm curious what you have to say on. It has been cool as someone who really loves horror movies, and obviously I'm going to call you a horror scholar. It's interesting to look at the horror movies from the 80s, things like we mentioned before we started recording, The Thing, Alien, stuff like that. A lot of movies that have that body horror aspect. Then you get the 90s slashers film, and in the last 10 or so years, I feel like horror has really boomed, and in an era where remakes, reboots are everything, we've seen a lot of movies like Talk to Me, A24 film, like Smile, these movies that are actually box office smashes because they're made for 5 to 10 mil, and then they rake in 80 million, and that's a huge win. What is it about the fact that horror is really kind of, it feels like it's having a moment, but there's still the market for remakes and reboots of those 90s classics, like we've seen with Scream? Like they rebooted Scream, and now we've got, just like the first wave, we've got like 5 more coming, and now here we are with I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's like, why do
And
you
Final
think-
Destination, Dan.
Yeah, true. It's like, why do you think
Well-
right now there's a window for those remakes to still be coming out?
Well, the remakes work if they're pulled off well. Like Final Destination Bloodlines was really good, and basically almost as good as like the first 2 Final Destination
Yeah.
ones. So those are great. Whereas the Exorcist reboot kind of sucked.
Yeah.
So, although Mike Flanagan's doing the next one, so it'll probably be great. But,
Yeah,
that's
agree.
kind of the difference. You need to get people who actually really like horror movies to make these things. Because otherwise the studio kind of see them as an easy way to, they're cost effective. And if you get a horror movie that hits, then yeah, you're into tons of profit. The cool thing about that is, though, horror may be one of the last sectors of film where you can still have original concepts coming in, plus, tried and true concepts, unlike, the bigger films where you have like hundreds of millions of dollars riding on it. It has to, at least the studios convince themselves, it has to be an established brand. Otherwise, they don't want to take the risk. So it has to
Yeah.
be Superman. I'm not knocking it because I actually really like the new Superman movie.
Yeah,
but still,
same.
yeah, but it's still like it's a known quantity, so there's less risk. Whereas, if you're spending less money in a genre that always usually winds up making money if it hits, if it's done well, then that's a risk they're willing to take. So then you get things like Hereditary or Get Out and, like stone classics, emerging because there's so much being made. So your odds of there being really great stuff coming out of this, hundreds of films are a lot higher.
And it's cool too that and we talked about this on the show at times, but sometimes the lower budgets on the horror movie are almost helpful to it because it's like,
Oh, yeah.
you want it to be in the mixer and have it look raw and unfiltered.
That's like that thing that, Jack White of the White Stripes always says is, you need limits. There's a reason why he only uses 3 colors, So, and he decides, okay, I'm going to do this just with, a 2-piece band or 4-piece band. So, yeah, limitations can help if there's still some sense of struggle. And that's harder the more successful you get to keep yourself, struggling because suddenly people want to give you more money and you can do more stuff. But
As a horror guy, do you like it that we're revisiting some of these classics? Like, we talked about like The Thing might be your favorite of all time. I think it is mine, or if not, it's on my Mount Rushmore. And when they remade that, it was a disaster. And
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of remakes, basically. I like continuations of things. I like things that take an idea and make something new of it. And you talk about The Thing. Well, The Thing was technically a remake of the 1951 film The Thing from Another World, and yet it's a completely different movie.
yeah,
So, and they're both movies, they both stand up, they're great. And that's the kind of thing I like, where somebody actually takes something and makes it their own, and reshapes it, as opposed to the endless Friday the 13th, where it was, the exact same template, and they're just like, do it again and again and again, and just, change the characers. So
he
that's
will never
drag.
die.
Yeah. And or we'll kill him and then he'll come back because, you still may be able to squeeze a little more juice out of the lemon,
Yeah,
So,
totally.
And Kurt,
but if it's done well, it's cool. Like Final Destination Bloodlines, that was worth doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and we had talked on text about which ones you like and which ones you don't like. And you had said earlier that it's just finding people that like it and actually care. Is that the big difference, do you think?
Well, it's so many, I know so many people who make these things, and you never know what if a film's going to work or not, because there's so many different factors going on there. So sometimes, that's not enough. But I think it helps if you at the very least go in with people who love the genre or understand why the genre works. And, it's like anything, if somebody's doing it just as a job, I think it shows,
Yeah.
And there's certain films, or if somebody's doing it who actually really semi-secretly is looking down on the genre, that shows. Like the remake of Suspiria. To me, I watched that and I go this is not a guy who likes horror films. This is
It's fair. It's a fair knock, honestly.
Yeah.
When you mentioned April Fool's Day earlier and that 80s wave where the kind of blood and slasher vibe wasn't really well received, can you really pinpoint a moment where it felt like that was well received? Because
it was never well received it was never well received by the establishment. It was received well by the audience.
Yes.
The audience was not, people other than a few parental groups or, religious groups or whatever, like the people who were protesting, some of the bloodier slashers or whatever, the people who rose up in arms against Sam Raimi's original Evil Dead,
such a good
people, the audiences loved that. And that I think scared the authorities essentially. And so there's kind of a pushback, which is why Sam Raimi's, Evil Dead 2 turned into a horror comedy, and he, instead of having red blood, he had green juices and all of that stuff to get around all the restrictions, to try not to get the thing slapped with an X rating.
Yeah. It's just I think it's so crazy that we went from that era to, these 90s slashers where people were like, okay, it's maybe not that gory, but there's a ton of blood. And then we went to Saw and Hostel. And
then you went to Saw. Well, again, and Saw and Hostel are all post 9/11. That's all dealing with trauma. Suddenly you've got a bunch, suddenly you're playing to an audience that's suddenly very aware that death is around the corner, and is random and unexpected. So, there, and also wants revenge, and you can't really take revenge on it. And so therefore, you're kind of acting out. And at the same time, the people who are tortured in Saw are usually the Americans. So it's sort of there's very sophisticated, there's a lot of guilt going back and forth. Well, I'm actually thinking more of Hostel. I'm thinking of Eli's film Hostel, which is classically, very consciously about that. So Saw is more like a bloodier version of The Usual Suspects in some ways. So it's just
so true.
I go all the time. Saw and Saw 2. There are multiple good ones, but Saw and Saw 2 are brilliant movies. The plot is just really, really smart.
Well, that's the one where Lee Wanell and James Wan are still involved in it. So, which again is a case of getting the guys who actually like and understand horror, versus, people coming in who are just looking for a way to worm their way into directing a Marvel movie,
You know what? I'm glad you just said that. I was actually going to bring up, I think there's two things that are so funny. One, you've been alluding to, is when a not horror guy or gal gets a job and directs a horror project, and you can clearly tell and feel like that there isn't that connection to horror. But I think the funnier is when a horror person goes and directs something not horror. Like all of the Sam Raimi Marvel projects are just like, oh, that's it. If you will go back and watch Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, there are such clear horror shots in those movies that you're like, what is happening right now? And that's Sam, baby.
I love Sam Raimi's stuff, and Darkman was kind of his dry run for that stuff, and even the much maligned, probably deservedly so, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, it still has monsters in it where you could see like, oh, this is Sam Raimi's chance to do like a full Lovecraft, he's going for it. So it's worth it.
Yeah. Oh no, it is absolutely.
And Kurt, how come, or at least maybe I'm biased because of the era we grew up in, but it seems to me that the movies that are getting mega sequeled and continued and rebooted are from that like 95 to 05 run. And maybe eventually the original movies coming out now are going to have it too later, but is that true, or am I just focused on the ones I grew up with?
I think you might be, because I think some of the ones that they're, Alien, that was 1979, right?
Yeah.
So, although you could argue that, like, the core, there's a big gap between Alien and Aliens. It wasn't like Aliens 86, so that's a big, it's actually a pretty big gap. And Aliens is much more the 80s film, Alien, the original, has that 70s darkness, we're all screwed vibe to it, and and Aliens is like, well, if we have enough guns,
much different paces, right? Like Alien almost has like a 2001: A Space Odyssey vibe. There's like a psychological element to it, and then Aliens is James Cameron. Like it is.
It's James Cameron,
it's
exactly.
A roller coaster.
And I've worked with him a couple of times, so and an interesting guy, and despite the fact that in some ways he's sort of a has kind of a hippie sense, he really gets into designing the guns and stuff. Like he's really into the weaponry. So the one thing about those Avatar movies, if you watch them, you're somebody put a lot of thought into the weaponry in this movie. So.
Yeah, he doesn't play around, man. That guy is hardcore. I want to know, because we've touched on a bunch of different eras here, and obviously the catalyst of this discussion is this, I know what you did last summer reboot here. What is if you can think of it, your Mount Rushmore of horror films?
Oh, well, again, I've seen a lot of stuff, so it's very hard for me to like boil things down to a few things, but I would say The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, Takashi Miike's Audition for sure, and that's a fun one. I recommend it to parents. Get your kids to sit down and watch Audition.
Sicko.
And then they'll be in therapy for the rest of their lives. But let's see. Geez, I really like Hereditary. Again, I think as as a modern film that really kicks ass, it's Hereditary. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on your podcast.
Oh, you can say
yeah.
Okay, yeah. And also Get Out as a modern film, I think. But there is no like top. I'm actually going through my sleeve here for the 90s films. So actually, I think in some ways I got to give some props to Seven. David Fincher's Seven, just for what it.
Great.
I mean, if we can call that horror, it's got to be up there. I mean,
you can't, because also like when we're talking about the '90s, what was happening in a parallel track there's these films like Scream that are, making fun of the slasher genre, but at the
Yeah.
same time, the one thing that the 90s did really well was digging into the Silence of the Lambs, Seven kind of,
Sure.
grim, grisly, kind of heightened reality of, man's inhumanity to man.
Hmm. Yeah, one that kind of walks that line. Another Fincher one is Zodiac that I love. Like that's
Zodiac's terrific. Zodiac's
awesome.
like, and yeah, and that's a very also depressing movie with no resolution. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it's one that's a movie that'll make you like put triple locks in your doors, and
Right. Yeah.
even then.
To sort of close the loop on the genres we're talking about here. I love that question that Chris asked of like, are we focused on the movies that we grew up with? And at CP, I actually did just kind of laugh at myself thinking like, I think we're just old now. And like, we are at the perfect age where the movies we grew up with are being remade. But do you think in particularly with horror, Kurt, do you think that this genre, the sort of like sexy teen slasher genre is one of the better sort of micro genres of horror that are good to remake, reboot, or continue? Or do you think, like you said earlier, it really is all about who's making it?
It's all about who's making it, and also I'm not sure how much legs they actually will have these days, because I think if anything, if I was to make a prediction, actually I said like about 6 months ago in some podcast that I really thought will start being popular again are vampire movies. And then Sinners hit, and I felt vindicated. So,
I was about to say, holy shit, you sniped that one.
yeah. I think that's kind of more where things are going. Films where people feel like they're just have no control over their destiny. That's kind of why Final Destination Bloodlines, I think, also hit big, because it's sort of, there's this feeling that we're being just sort of, we're in the middle of a pissing contest between billionaires and governments and, whatever, all
true.
these social forces. So seeing attractive young teens slaughtered, I think, may be more something that's reflective of a culture that really doesn't have that much to worry about. But we'll see.
I love that. I love that. That's actually a good one, because Kurt, I was going to just end us with, and Dan, I'm kind of directing this at you too. Any ones recently that you've totally loved, and you actually listed two modern films, Kurt, in Rushmore, which I was surprised about. But like, I know I didn't see Long Legs yet, Dan, but I know you liked that. I liked Barbarian. I thought that was fucking nuts. But any of like any horror fans listening that you've come out recently that you'd recommend?
Oh, well, if you want a slasher that's fun, there's a movie called Clown in a Cornfield.
I just saw that pop up. And I okay, go on.
You should check out Clown in a Cornfield. It's done by the guy who did Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is another really fun movie that is not afraid to be gory as hell, like splattery, but is also really amusing because it just sort of, much like Scream, it's like it turns all the genre tropes inside out. It takes these two guys who are mistaken for hillbilly serial killers are actually like really nice guys, but they have a way of somehow getting everybody horribly murdered who comes into contact with them. So that's a great movie. And Clown in a Cornfield has sort of a similar aesthetic in that, it's got the, kind of girl who moves into a town which has kind of a weird annual ritual, and it just kind of keeps doubling down and escalating on its wacky premise. And it's also has tons of, if you're into kills and all of that, it's got a lot of really good ones. Okay. So I'd recommend that.
We're watching this weekend.
Have you seen the Terrifier movies?
Yeah. I've fast forwarded through.
Holy moly.
A couple of them. That's not really my bag.
Yeah, I won't lie to you, Kurt. I'm a little skeptical of Clown in a Cornfield because of Terrifier, but with your vote of confidence, maybe I'll give it a shot. So that's
Terrifier is the Terrifier films. At least how they struck me is they seem more sadistic than fun.
Yes.
And
would
Clown
agree
in the
with that.
Cornfield is actually, actually kind of fun. And
Okay.
the more it goes along, the less seriously you have to take it, I would say.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. I like that. CP for me, if I can give a nod to a movie that's on my Mount Rushmore, 28 Days Later, I loved 28 Years. I thought 28 Years was awesome. And then I really liked Heretic with Hugh Grant. I thought that was fun.
Oh, that
And
was
then,
fun,
Heretic's
dude.
got a
Good
really
call.
good script, yeah.
A great script. And then I actually just watched, like 2 nights ago, A24's newer one, Bring Her Back. And that was really freaky. So people are looking
Do you
for
have
horror
kids?
watches. I don't. And I'm going to say it might have just tacked
I
on a
think
couple more years.
if you have kids, that's one that maybe it's
Skip.
you
Yeah,
may
skip.
wind up heading to the kitchen just to wander away from that one.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
That's amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Kurt, this was awesome. I've had such a blast. Before we let you go, please tell everyone what you're working on now. If you want to plug anything,
please.
shout out anything. Yeah, let it rip.
Gosh, let's see. Well, to be perfectly honest, I am, as you may have noticed, the industry is in a bit of a in a down
Shrinking.
period.
Yeah.
Don't we know it?
So, so I am simply, working on many development projects. Actually, I was actually working on a big history project, American history project of all things. But I am trying to get 2 other horror projects off the ground. So it should be TV projects.
Okay,
and
very cool.
and I'm also probably going to start doing I do have a site called the Horror Express on Substack, which has a bunch of interviews I've done with people where we talk about, different big deal horror films. And we're doing a series on The Thing right now.
Well, I mean, I'll be checking that out immediately. So fantastic. That's huge.
Awesome stuff.
Well, thanks
Kurt,
for asking.
Oh, of course. This was unreal. Thank you so much for sharing your extensive horror knowledge with us and the fans. This is going to be awesome, and we really appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Huge thank you to my boy, Kury Sayenga. That was sick, dude. And he's dialed. He is a horror god.
He's a horror god, which is like such a crazy title, but it's like the second you experience it, you're like, oh yeah, you are a horror god.
He looks the part, eh? You're like horror. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like I saw him and I was like, oh, I'm about to get taken to school, dude, to the school of horror.
God,
unbelievable
amazing
stuff. Such a blast. I'm loving this stuff. Let's quickly check in with the sponsors and we'll be right back. Quick intermission to talk to you babes about State and Liberty. Fellas, stop right now and listen. Don't fast forward this. I'm telling you, I'm about to hook you up in a way you could never believe. State and Liberty, founded in 2015 by Stephen Fisher and Lee Maffei. It is delivering high-end, high-quality suits, formal wear, casual fits, golf apparel, and more, all in an athletic performance fit style. Maffei, who is a former pro hockey player, realized that guys with an athletic build had a hard time finding a nice, phenomenal-looking dress clothes or suits that fit well and look amazing. It looks like you're wearing truly designer stuff. You've seen guys like Gustav Forsling, Dylan Larkin, and other NHL players rocking this gear, as well as your boy. It's the truth. State and Liberty is just delivering on all fronts. I am telling you, it's wedding season right now. I know a lot of you guys need new work clothes. I know you need golf gear, play gear, whatever it is. State and Liberty has it. And it's great because it's from the casual stuff to the high-end classy stuff. Those nice sort of athletic fit, stretch fit clothing. They've got button downs. They've got short sleeves, whatever you need. Those are fantastic for the casual wear. I just went to a wedding, wore one of those nice stretch fit, short sleeve button downs for the welcome drinks on a Friday. And then boom, I popped on a suit that is just pristine, clean, amazing fitting stuff for the wedding. They've got tuxedos. They've got anything you want. They've got shoes, beautiful looking stuff. And right now, guys, use code EMPTY10 and you're going to save 10% off your next order. It's time to load up. All of those suits that you've been wearing probably since college, since you bought them 5-6 years ago from those places that guarantee you're going to look great, they suck. They split down the ass all the time. If you got a hockey butt like me, I'm telling you, it's like I have split so many suit pants. It's absurd. You need this stuff because it fits phenomenally. It feels incredible. And I'm telling you again, it looks like you are wearing truly high-end designer stuff without breaking the bank. This is incredibly affordable and incredibly high-quality stuff. Whatever it is, if you got a wedding coming up, you need suits for work, you need suits for hockey, you need suits for anything, you need dress clothes, golf stuff. You're not going to find anything better for a better price with this great deal right now. So again, use code EMPTY10. There's a link in our bio. Get you some great stuff. You deserve it. You deserve to look like the pro that you are. Make that happen with State and Liberty.
Okay, now it is time for a trivia game, Dan, one of my favorite parts of the episode. And this is my favorite trivia game. It's called What's the Connection? I ask, and for new listeners, I ask Dan 10 trivia questions. The first 9 have answers, and the 10th question is, what is the connection to all of the previous 9 answers? In the past, Dan has given me comic book character names, Lois, Clark. I can't remember what else. I'm stuck in a Superman loop.
That was crazy what just happened to you. You forgot all comic book characters right there.
Yep. Bruce Wayne, things like that. The one I did for Dan most recently was Mario Kart. Everything had to do with Mario Kart. So
it was so good.
Dan, this one's the hardest one I've done for you, I think, but you always get them so fast. But this one's the hardest one. But I think you're gonna love it.
I did get Mario Kart fast, but all right,
even though that was so good, it's like, God
so
damn,
fucking good.
I tried to order these in the right way to make it like that you wouldn't figure it out. I actually might move one of these, but I'll figure that in a second. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Question number 1.
Okay. I'm just. Hey, look.
Yeah, don't be cheating. Don't be cheating.
I'm just writing. I'm writing down what my answers are. I think.
Owen Sound became an OHL franchise in 1989 when they were known as the Owen Sound, I think it's Platers. But in 2000, they changed their name to what it is now, the Owen Sound blank.
Okay, I believe...
Some I have hints for, and I have a hint for this one if you need it, so I'm not going to give it to you yet, but you can have it later. Bobby Ryan played for the Owen Sound blank.
Yeah. I'm getting in my head because I know their mascot.
And the mascot is deceiving, Dan, to be honest with you.
That's what I'm saying. I believe the answer is the Attack. Go on to question 2.
Question 2.
Their mascot is a bear, though.
Yeah, correct. The original Boston Garden opened on November 17th, shout out Roy Gavin's birthday, in 1928. Had it opened merely 9 years earlier, it would have been completely destroyed when a massive tank burst in the heart of Boston on January 5th, 1919, flooding the North End with blank and killing 21 people. It is probably the best-smelling tragedy of all time.
I think it's molasses, but I'm not sure. But
okay,
yeah.
so that's your placeholder?
Yeah. I think it's molasses.
Ready for question 3?
Yes.
At the 1993 All-Star Game, this is very topical, considering the interview we've just done. At the 1993 All-Star Game, Al Iafrate broke his own record for the hardest shot with a 105.2 mile per hour clapper. Held the record till Big Z broke it years later.
Yeah.
The coolest part about Iafrate's moment in NHL history has to do with his stick.
It was wood.
Okay.
Or maybe it broke. Maybe that it broke. It was wood and it broke. And also, Mark got it.
Okay,
I know a lot
down.
about this stick.
Write all that down, dude. Write all that down.
Okay.
Okay, question, I think 4.
4.
On the Spittin' Chicklets podcast, Sidney Crosby told an incredible story about his infamous spin doctor, an illegal club in his golf bag that could stop the ball on a dime no matter what your lie. What club is it?
Oh, God.
And you don't have to be as specific as maybe you're thinking.
Okay. Like brand?
No, like it's not driver, but if it was driver, you would have just said driver.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I think it's a wedge. Is what my guess would be.
Okay, so you're writing down wedge.
I'm going to write down. You're making it sound like that's fucking wrong now, though. But I'm going to say
Okay,
wedge.
ready?
Yeah.
The 2014 NHL Winter Classic featured the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings. Due to a counting error, the Guinness Book of World Records refuses to make this official, but that game should have set the record for most blank sold.
I don't know. Jerseys?
I have a hint for that one, so you can come back to it.
Okay. 2014 Winter Classic.
Leafs
That was
at Red Wings.
Yeah, that was the big house, dude.
That was a good hint.
Seats? Let's say seats. Tickets.
Okay.
Tickets?
Oh, that sounds better than seats, but
Tickets.
I don't think they sell the seats, Dad, but they do. I don't think they sell the seats.
Tickets. Okay, all right. I'm going to say tickets. Question
All right,
6.
ready?
Yeah.
Question 6. This versatile tool used in hockey training has been featured in many videos, including one of a young Connor McDavid during his junior hockey days. It improves quick feet and agility.
A hockey tool?
Yeah. I said this versatile, and I'll even add like exercise tool.
Yeah. Maybe like a slide board?
Quick feet and agility.
Maybe a ladder. A ladder?
I'm not answering either of
Agility
those.
ladder. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking out loud. Move on.
Okay. All right, we're going to go this one next. Leafs fans are notoriously hard on their hometown squad. They've run more than one superstar out of town. And when the boys aren't playing well, people are known to call the rink can get so quiet, people are known to call it the Scotiabank blank.
Library. Move on.
Okay. Question 8.
8.
This school has won 17 Hockey East championships, 3 more than any other school. They also are tied for the most national championships of any team in their conference. You might not have guessed they'd have had all this success, considering their tiny, adorable mascot, which is...
That is gonna be tiny, adorable mascot. It must be a terrier, Boston Terrier. So a terrier.
Okay, question 9. Ready?
Okay, yeah.
While many professional sports involve trash talking, a recent poll showed that ice hockey is cited as having the most prevalent and entertaining trash talk. They even have their own term for it, chirping, which is funny considering a staggering 41% of the NHL is Canadian, a very mild-mannered and friendly nation. In fact, when imitating a Canadian, many people use this word in their delightful accent.
A. Okay.
So what do you think you have so far?
I think I have attack, molasses, broken or wood, wedge, tickets, ladder, library, terrier, and A.
Okay,
Are all of those right?
I don't want to tell you yet.
The broken or wood bothers me. Like, I need to know which one that is.
Okay, I'll tell you it is wood.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll tell you have one wrong.
And it's ladder.
Nope, that's correct.
Oh! So it must be wedge.
And the one you have wrong, your guess is excellent. So it's like it's not your fault. You made a great guess. You can obviously get the connection without getting them all. You know, like you can figure it out.
Yeah.
But maybe having them all will help a little bit.
Oh, I got it. And now
You have the connection?
Yeah. And I got it because you gave me a good hint with my guess being excellent. So I imagine that it is A, and that the correct word is sorry, which makes me think that the connection is like board games or something here.
Dan, that is absolutely correct.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, but hold on. Let me see if I can. Okay. So sorry is sorry.
Is a board game.
Terrier, I'm thinking is Monopoly
Yep.
because of the little dog. Library's got to be my game Clue.
Yep.
Ladder must be Chutes and Ladders.
Yep.
Tickets is Ticket to Ride.
Yep.
Wow. Wedge, I'm going to come back to. Wood, I'm thinking Settlers.
Yep.
Molasses is Candyland.
Yes, Dan, the molasses swamp. That was the hardest one, I think.
And then Attack is obviously Risk or like Battleship, whatever.
No,
I would
Risk,
say
yep.
Risk. And Wedge.
One of the most famous
must
board games of
be-
all time.
Oh, God. Wedge is obviously. I don't know.
It's a race to 6 wedges. You need 6 wedges to fill, I think, or maybe 5, 6 or 5 wedges to fill your pie.
I don't know.
Trivial Pursuit.
Trivial Pursuit. Oh, cool.
You move around the board, and every time you get one right, you get a little wedge.
I think like a bitch. I've only played Trivial Pursuit on like PlayStation, like the digital game, and I don't know if the wedges are. Wow, that was really good. The questions were hard. You went deep with the phrasing.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it was hard. It was hard to get a question to make those words. Like I was really like, I was like, how do I get to wedge? You know, like how do I get to molasses?
That sorry one was the longest question I've ever heard. I was like, what is happening? That was like Jeopardy or you know, anything like that where I was like, okay, and the answer is blank. And I was like, oh, wait, no, it's still going. And oh, wait, it's still going. And then it was finally the question.
Yeah.
Wow. Board games, really, really good stuff.
Great job, dude.
Really good.
Great job.
Thank you. All right. Great game, CP. That is it for us today at the Empty Netters Podcast. Hope you enjoyed that interview with O.A.R. of Revelation. Go listen to their music right now if you aren't already. We have got an iconic guest coming next week on Tuesday. Truly, I'm not sure I have ever been more excited for anyone to hear an episode. I absolutely mean that. Immediately shot into my top 3 Empty Netters episodes of all time. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be so good. In the meantime, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube so you don't miss anything like that. We've got fun stuff coming out. I'm rocking some merch right now. I think CP's got a hat on right now that might be merch. I'm not sure. Is that our merch hat? It sure is. Look at our unbelievable stuff that we've got flowing these days. Go check it out. Links in the bio. Grab some merch and enjoy your weekends. And until we see you for this amazing Tuesday episode,
It's only one thing to do. Skate hard.